guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's ModestlyQue here. Something not different, but something that I've been like procrastinating about, avoiding, doing spiritual videos and sticking to what I actually was supposed to be doing with my channel instead of avoiding it and doing what's easier for me. I decided that I'm going to rededicate my channel back to like what the whole point of it was in the first place. So of course, yeah, I do makeup, all of that, and makeup is like easy for me, it's a breeze. But the thing that I've been avoiding, doing spiritual videos and going back to this book that I was supposed to be reviewing for you guys, and I completely just stopped doing it. The spiritual videos and everything is a bit of a challenge for me, not because I can't do it, but because I haven't really gotten so much so like comfortable with it. So I'm gonna try and start it back up again. Y'all just pray for me, okay? So last week I went camping, and a lot of things that I wouldn't usually do, I did, like canoeing. Who would ever know a black girl would be canoeing? Not that black girls don't canoe, like, but I can't swim, and that's like the black thing. Like black people can't swim. So I went canoeing. I was terrified. I was terrified to start canoeing because it was something new for me. It was something different, and I can't swim. So I'm like, am I sure I want to get in this boat right now? But I really wanted the experience. So I wanted to like compare canoeing to our relationship with God, and just taking that step of faith. So of course, like I said, starting out, it was really like terrifying because of the fact that I don't know how to swim. I've never been canoeing, and me and my best friend, like, we were being chauffeured. So we weren't like actually canoeing or the boat or rowing the boat, whatever you want to call it. We had the guys doing it for us. So this being like a spiritual trip, like, I kind of like trusted these guys to make sure that we're not going to fall over in the water, or, you know, like we're going to make it back to shore. So I was like, okay. At first, you know, I was scared, but then I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust that they're going to get us back. So let me go and get this experience. So what happened was, we get out there and everything, and the boat is like rocking back and forth a little bit, you know, it's getting real shaky here and there. And so I'm kind of like trying to use my little weight to kind of move the boat over a certain way so it wouldn't move over another way. Oh my God, I'm really actually moving. But anyways, yeah. So like it was scaring me. So I'm trying to like, you know, rock the boat. No, Aaliyah will rock the boat. Sorry. But yeah, get back on topic, sis. Okay, so yeah, it was like water splashing all in the boat and everything. And so me and my best friend, we both like are afraid. So we were like really out on trust. Like we were really like trusting in that moment because both of us were afraid of like the boat tipping over. So when the boat came to like a stop and it was still, and we were just sitting there like kind of like just taking it all in, things became like more peaceful, and we really was able to like enjoy that moment and enjoy like what God had created. So we sitting in the middle of a pond, a lake. I don't know what it was. Look, I'm scared of water except getting in the shower. So I don't know which, I think it was a lake, a pond, something. We was there on boat. We were there and we were just enjoying like the beauty of the water and just nature. So that was really what the camping experience was about. I think just, you know, getting away from the regular things, enjoying nature and what God created, just getting closer to God while we were out there. So that was like a big thing too. That's why I just decided to like do it, because I wanted the experience. And of course, because this is a retreat like involving God, I'm like, okay, nothing too bad can actually happen, you know? Like, I'm just being realistic. So I decided to do it or whatnot. When we got out there, everything was all peaceful and calm. So I was able to really like enjoy it. But I was still a little afraid. So I was still a little afraid. So we had to go back, of course. The guys, they just so like, I don't know, you know how guys are like, they see that we're afraid, so they want to do little stuff like rock the boat and stuff like that. When they first started doing it, I was a little scared, but then I'm just like, okay, I trust them. Like, they not going to allow us to fall over in this water, hopefully. So I trusted them. Like, after a while of being out there, being in the water with them on the boat, I started to like feel more comfortable, and I was really like opening up myself to trust them. So a story that we all should be familiar with is when Jesus walked on water. And this story was just so appropriate because we're talking about canoeing, of course. So, and faith as well. In Matthew 14:22 through 33 is the story of when Jesus walks on water. So basically, Jesus moved the crowd out of the way. He stayed behind and moved the crowd around while he sent the disciples out on the water to go ahead. And so he went up into the mountains once he was finished, and he prayed and everything. And so while the disciples were in the water, the wind was blowing and waves were forming and stuff like that. So I'm sure they were on a boat like afraid. Jesus then comes down from the mountains and he's walking on water towards the disciples. So I'm like the disciples. First of all, I'm already in the water, scared out of my mind, waves blowing, all of this, and then I see somebody walking on water. Like, this ain't right. What is happening, okay? That's all I would be thinking in my mind. What is going on? So one of the disciples is like, is that a ghost? And so Jesus is like, no, it's me. It's Jesus, So then I think it was Peter who said, if it's you, then call me out on the water. And so he called him out. And so Peter's walking on the water. He's getting, afraid. So he starts sinking. And so, girl, let me look at the story again. I don't want to be telling the word wrong now. Yeah, it was Peter. Right? He saw the wind and then he became afraid. And he started sinking. So he told the Lord, save me. And Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. And so he told him, you have little faith. Why did you doubt? And then when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. The disciples who were in the boat, they worshiped Jesus, saying, truly you are the Son of God. This story is so much like similar to me going canoeing because it was all a trusting process. And then with trust, you like depending on somebody, relying on their ability and their strength of surety. That's a big thing. Like that's definitely a big thing. And that's something that I think all of us deal with as followers of Christ. He shows us like many times why we should trust him. And it's almost like, life happens and we kind of like lose track. And then sometimes we forget about, all the things that he's done for us and we become distracted. And that's why it's so important to focus on him, because once you are focused, you keep that in mind of like what he's done for you. And, you just continue to be in him and nothing is like really distracting you. So it's important to focus on God for several reasons. So the confidence or trust in a person or thing is faith. This is the dictionary's definition, and then the Bible has a definition as well. So Hebrews 11:1 says that now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So this is what faith is, and trust and faith is basically the same thing. Trust is more so something that you do, and faith is something that you have. So faith would be like a noun, and trust would be a verb. With the whole canoeing experience, right? So we're going to look at the people in the boat as we're going to reference them to God in this story. Like, we're going to reference them to God. And so these particular guys were people that we trusted to take us out into the water and make sure that we come back. So the same way that we trusted them to, bring us back is the same way that we ought to trust God. But of course, sometimes things get a little shaky, and while we out and we going through. So the water is a representation of, just all the things that we are afraid of and we're going through. It's kind of hard to trust God when a lot of things we are unfamiliar with, for one. And that's the thing, like, a lot of people are afraid of the unknown. And because we can't see God, that makes things a lot harder for some of us as well. But that's why it's just so important to keep faith. We saw those guys, but we didn't know their ability. We just trusted them. So the same way that we put our trust in them is the same way that we should put our trust in God. And like I was saying, it got shaky out there. The boat was getting shaky, and it was kind of leaning a little bit. And that's just a representation of our lives. Like, things get shaky, we leaning over. We don't want to stay focused. We don't want to stay focused. We want to lean over to the right, trying to do things ourselves. And this is God's word. Like, let God control things. Literally, we were just sitting in the boat. We weren't doing anything. And that's exactly what happens, y'all. Like, allow God to work. You can't be sitting in the boat trying to shift over to the right and the left, thinking that you're doing something when you're not even controlling the boat. Like, let's be for real. We trusted them to bring us back. They brought us back. And that's the same thing with God. Like, we're going to go through some things. And when we trust Him, put our trust in Him, and trust that He's going to bring us out of those things. And that's just what I, received in that whole canoeing experience. And I hope that I didn't lose you guys. Like, even with the Jesus walking on water, that situation, Peter, he was more like us. Like, we were afraid. We didn't know. Of course, we didn't see Jesus walking on water, but I don't want to see that right now. But yeah, Jesus walking on the water, and they were like, is it a ghost? But Peter was just so afraid that he ended up sinking. And sometimes that's how we are. We are so afraid and not trusting in God that we're sinking. So when you start trusting God, and you start getting His word, and you start applying His word to your life, you realize that, God is, working. He's getting me there. You start speaking these things into existence. You rising above everything. And that's how life is with God. You rise above that level of water, that sinking place. You rise above all of that when you are focused on God and you're listening to Him instead of doing things your own way. See, Peter was walking outside of the water. He doing things on his own and getting scared because he get distracted. And that's how we are. We get distracted, so we're afraid. And God will put us right back on track if we focus on Him. So once he focused on God, he was back on track. He leveling up on top of the water, level that. And now he's walking towards God. And that's what we doing, like, in our lives. This is a perfect, ooh, it sounds that perfect wrong. This is a perfect representation of our lives. We are walking and striving to be like Christ and be with him. So we're walking towards him to be with him, and we're trying to be like him, but we got to stay focused. We can't worry about everything around us, because that's when we start to sink and drown. That's my word for you guys tonight. Rise above the water and walk towards God, and trust in God, and focus on God. Have faith. Faith is very important. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with, and I hope that that was helpful to you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is not new for me, but I'm trying to get back into it, so y'all bear with me. I'm also going to get back into the book. I did say that before, but I'm definitely going to do it, like, seriously. I am going to do it, so I didn't lie. It may have took me a little while, but I'm definitely getting back into it. So, yeah. If you guys are interested in seeing more, like, spiritual and these types of videos from me, make sure you subscribe and comment any suggestions and questions you have. My email will be linked in the description box, or listed in the description box, and all of my social media platforms and things of such. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be blessed, stay beautiful, and until next time, peace.